Hello, everybody. I'm Julie Altemus, live in Studio USA with Real Producers Magazine, where we bring the best of the best in the DFW Metroplex together, the top agents and the top businesses, and run live events all in the process while delivering a monthly publication. Today with me, we have two exciting guests, Tamara and Christy. I am so happy that you two are with me today, and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves to you. And so tell us, one by one, who you are and who you're with, what you do.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'll go first. I'm Christy Broussard. I am the sales manager for the DFW Lawyers Title.
And I am Tamara Gady, Director of Collin County Sales for Lawyers Title, but also host of the podcast, The Closing Table.
Right? So this is not going to be foreign to you today.
I just did two this week, so here we go.
Isn't this fun? Right? Number 3. Well, I'll be doing a few today. But anyway, I'm so thankful that you ladies joined us today. And, you know, obviously you're very valued partners in the Real Producers community. That's why you're on the show today. And very well loved. Lots of people love Lawyers Title and tell me all about it. So it's a blessing that you're here today. So first thing I want to talk about is how each of you got into the real estate industry. This is such a fun story because many people don't start off in college thinking, hey, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to major in real estate. You know, which is now more of a thing than it used to be back then. As a matter of fact, I found out they're even doing high school classes now for real estate. But back then, it wasn't such a thing. So I would love, Christy, why don't you start off and just talk to me about how in the world did you get into the real estate industry? Talk to me about your journey, and were you doing something completely different before?
Yeah, no, it's a very funny story because absolutely did not go to college thinking this. Actually, growing up, my parents were like, you go to school, then you go to college, and you go work for the government, and you get a good, solid paycheck in retirement. So, and my mom, for whatever reason, Postal Service, that's where she really thought I would be a good fit. But the irony in it is I never even thought about getting my real estate license. And my sister and her husband, they lived in Colorado at the time. Her husband had gotten his license. They were moving back to Texas, and he calls me up. My youngest, I have 4. She was going into kindergarten. He said, well, you have nothing else to do. Go get your license and we'll partner together. And I was like, okay. So I went and got my real estate license. And what he didn't do is his due diligence to find out when he moved back from Colorado that we were in a reciprocal state. So he would have to go and take all of his courses and start over again. So he gets down here. I got my license and he said, yeah, I'm not going to go do that. And so I was like, oh, okay, now what? So I was a flight attendant with Southwest Airlines and was doing that. So I ended up taking my license active with Century 21. Didn't stay there real long. It was not the best fit for me. Ended up in 99 going to RE/MAX in Arlington, RE/MAX Pinnacle, and stayed there till the end of 2007. And then I had the opportunity to partner up with Keller Williams Arlington and was able to run real estate offices up until 21. And then I just thought, I was really kind of tired of managing real estate offices and was just going to go back into sales. And just had a very good friend that said, hey, come get into title with me. So I kind of just happened into it that way. And so that was almost 3 years ago now. And I've just loved it. Absolutely loved it.
So now you've had 2 people in your life say, hey, come do this with me.
Yes.
And you just got on board.
Yeah.
Maybe I should come up with a business idea, Christy, and I say, hey, come do this with me.
Hey, come do this with me. I'll tend to go
Doesn't sound like
sometimes.
you ask a lot of questions.
I don't. It's really funny. I don't. It's interesting. I didn't when, it was proposed to get my real estate license and then to go into title too. So, yeah. So it's been a wonderful journey. Absolutely love this.
When you said
role.
yes the first time and you decided to go for it and get your license, did you have any idea what the real estate industry was like?
Not a clue. Had no idea. And honestly, what they teach you in real estate school is nothing that you really need to know when you get out into
Absolutely
the field.
nothing to do with it.
Not at all. And so, you just learn the hard way. And I was very fortunate. It's very interesting because when I was closing, I worked with another title company, and that particular sales manager had been a former team leader and ran a real estate office. And she came in and said, hey, this is, as a title person, I want to coach you on your business. And if I pour into you and I help you grow your business, then you'll bring it to me and it'll grow my business as well. And I thought, oh, that's great. And so she did. And it was a game changer for what she did to me and what she did for me. She really taught me, how to build a a real estate business, how to think about it like a business, how to put systems and structure and, all those things that you just aren't taught in real estate school. And it changed my real estate business forever. And so, yeah, it's very funny. So very full circle for me, which is what I still get to do, in the role that I'm in. I still get to work with incredible people like Tamara and my sales reps and really develop and coach them. And I love that. And I still get to do it with realtors as well. And I truly, truly enjoy that. But it was a gift that she gave me that I'll never forget.
I was just going to say, you were really blessed in that because there's so many people, agents that I meet with, of course, every single day, that don't see themselves as CEOs. Yeah. They don't see themselves, maybe as entrepreneurs, maybe not, about half and half. Yeah. But it's very interesting when I ask people to raise their hands in a crowded room, and they're mostly all real estate agents. I ask them, do you see yourself as a subject matter expert? And not one hand goes up. Yeah. Generally, not one hand. So it's very eye-opening. And so for somebody to come in and mentor you the way that they did in a different way, because it wasn't like it was another real estate person above you. No. It was in a completely different industry. Yeah. You were really, really blessed.
She had just done it before. She had her real estate license and her business and then ran offices as well. And then she moved to title. And she realized that there was this niche out there as someone in title, if I could really pour into an agent and help coach and develop them, that their business would grow. And she was someone who taught me years ago, in order to have market share, you have to have mind share, right? And so we just created things around that. And it was just, I enjoyed real estate again, whereas before I just didn't enjoy it. And she was just an incredible, incredible partner with me.
Is that person still in the industry?
She is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's nice. Yeah. So Tamara,
Yes.
tell me all about you and how you got into the real estate industry. Was this too something that you never thought about and somehow
No, absolutely
suggested?
not. Does anybody do that?
Some do, but I will tell you it's a very small percentage.
Very small percentage.
Yeah, no, I've always been on the affiliate side of the business. I do have a real estate license. I say that I'm the most educated realtor that's never done a transaction. I have 3 designations. But no, I came in, I grew up here and ended up moving to Arizona in 2003, came back in 2009 after the crash. I was working with a group of financial planners, and obviously that kind of dissipated with everything that was going on. So I came back and I took a job immediately. I had, plenty of savings and all that, but I still kind of panicked. Took a job immediately with a high school friend of mine who was running a roofing company. Worst experience of my life. Sorry. Worst experience of my life. And so I quit that and, I was like, this isn't working for me. And so I just kind of took a minute and did some consulting work to really kind of pray about what the next direction was going to be and to have God lead me to wherever I was supposed to go. And I saw an online ad for a foundation repair company that worked in real estate. And I was like, great, another construction job. I'm not excited about this. But I went and met with Clay in Arch Foundation Repair, and just the moment I left that interview, I knew I was going to get the job. And it opened the door for real estate. Arch Foundation Repair had a long history with Ebby Holiday at the time, sponsored Ebby's home show back in the 80s. So we had an incredible open door with Ebby, and that allowed me to start the relationship building side of and help bring Arch back to life, because they just really hadn't had anybody in the role and had really kind of come out of the limelight in the industry. And so I leveraged that to the hilt. I mean, I had a blast with all the Ebby people. I was the only affiliate allowed to go into Ebby Corporate and walk around whenever I wanted to. Nice. As a matter of fact, when I bought my first house in Dallas, in Rowlett actually, my realtor was a Dave Perry Miller realtor, Brandon Fleeman. And he and Cody over at Ebby Corporate arranged for Ebby to come to the closing of my house. So it was and it's my understanding she had not been to a closing since she was a listing agent in the 60s, and she never went to a closing again. So that was an incredibly special day, and it still comes up on my Facebook memories today. And so that was just a true testament to who she was as a person, who the people were that were involved in my transaction, and just kind of what we had all done was really special together. So, the kind of things changed at Arch, and it was just kind of clear to me that it was time to find something else. So I did take a job with Ebby. I went to Mary Frances with a job proposal. And she decided that that wasn't exactly what she wanted me to do. So she put me in recruiting, and that's when I got my real estate license. So it wasn't a good fit for me. I'm meant to be of service to the realtor and be on the affiliate side of things. So I didn't. Unfortunately, I just didn't stay there long. So I went to home warranty, worked for Nation's Home Warranty for almost 4 years. And then what do most home warranty reps do when they want to go on to something else? They go to title.
That was not going to be my next natural step.
Anyway, the lawyers came recruiting. Brandy Dosser came recruiting and came to recruit me, and I was like, and I prayed again. Title? Really, Lord? Is this what we're doing? And I made the leap 6 years ago last month, and it's been a ride ever since.
You and I must have been entering and exiting. I mean, that's where I met you when I was working for Super Home Warranty. That's where I met you. And I stayed there almost 5 years before I took the leap to do something different. And that really happened, unfortunately, because my mother had a stroke, and I had to. I had to scale back my life, take some things off my plate, and take care of my mother, which now I've been doing for 2 years. So we're just in that phase, you know. Everybody goes through a phase, and that's where I'm at. So, but that's where I met you, and then I've seen you, obviously, you know, move on and do other things. And it just seems like every time we move from one lily pad to a next lily pad, we grow. Yeah. And I don't know about you ladies, but I've been able to look back in my life and see the periods and the seasons when I've really taken a huge leap and I've grown. And I'm in that season at the moment, you know, doing different things and speaking all over the country. And this is my wheelhouse. You know, these are the things I love, and this is the thing that I love too. So, so Tamara, talk to me. Okay, so the real estate industry is 24/7. Like it never stops, you know. And of course, realtors want you to be.
I think I have the bags under my eyes showing today to prove it. And I know there's some road rash on my knees, girl.
Right? Some broken heels along the way.
Right.
But so I didn't understand even in this phase of my life. I don't really feel like I'm working. I'm doing what I love, and I really, really enjoy what I'm doing. But I didn't realize, even now, how stressed out I am, or how much I really needed peace until a month ago. When my husband talked me into going to the mountains. I'm the beach lady. I'm the beach girl, you know, not the mountain girl. But he took me to Angel Fire for the purpose of looking at a particular construction project. And he said, let's just make it a good time. Let's go do personal time. It's 4th of July. Let's, you know, go look at this work project. And one of my favorite things that I discovered was we were up in the mountain with a side-by-side, 4x4. And going all through the forest on these little bitty trails, some straight up, and then I would get out. I'd be like, I don't know, it might tip over, whatever. But one of the things I kept asking him to do was turn it off. We just turn off the machine. Because when you're up there in the mountaintop, 10,800 feet, it's silent. And I kept asking him, turn off the machine, because I just wanted to sit in silence. And I think that is so important when we're in such crazy busy lives, and especially in the real estate industry when it's constant. So I want to know from each of you how you take those moments and steal your peace.
You want me to start? To recharge and refuel, you can't be good for anyone, right? And so I think you do have to set boundaries and be okay with that. I think it's also very important that you learn to delegate, and that is hard for me because I want to control everything. I think I can do everything. If you're not doing it as fast as I'm going to do it, I'll just take it and do it myself, and it doesn't allow other people to grow. So I really learned over the years, especially as running and leading people. It's really important to delegate and to let others do things for you, and it helps them grow as well. So I think boundaries, I think delegation, I think self-care. It's okay. I've really embraced the self-care Sunday. I love it. I do the same thing every Sunday, and we don't deviate from that.
What does that look like?
So church in the morning, obviously. If we haven't got our 6 workouts in during the week, then we're doing that. Typically we have, so we'll go out to lunch afterwards. and then it's home, and it's literally, I mean, it can be like a bath time, a mask every Sunday. There's a face mask that goes on every
I'm gonna
Sunday.
need that face mask,
Yes.
I think.
At pool time, I love to be in the pool and listen to, either podcast or music. That's really my time. So it's just making an effort not to do anything and unplugging,
Yes.
really unplugging from my phone or my iPad, whatever that is. So, so self-care Sunday is a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I think it's, it is hard. And that's the thing. In this business, because it is 24/7, it's such ebbs and flows. So there are some weeks that next week, I know for us, and for me, it is just packed. And so, I think you just have to be okay with understanding that. And then you have to have a really good support system around you that gets that, right? My family has always just been so supportive. Especially when I ran real estate offices. I mean, it was a lot, especially when we were starting out in the Arlington office. It was just nothing at the time, and we really grew it, and it was amazing. We got to be the #1 office in all of Keller Williams in 2014, but it was a lot of work. And I had a really, really great support system around me. So, I think you just, like I said, you just learn to say no, set those boundaries, prioritize, delegate, be okay with having self-care, having white noise, just having that white space or that empty space for silence so that you can think. Being able to train your brain too to pivot. When this business hits us, and boy, it hits us hard sometimes, you've got to be able to recognize that and then pivot your mindset to move into a different direction that's positive, because if you don't, then it can eat you up as well. So,
True. Tamara, how do you steal your peace?
So I have started taking about 2 trips a year by myself. 100% by myself. You are not invited. And so there is a luxury wellness resort that I don't particularly care for Miami Beach, but I really like this particular resort. And so I actually went there in July for a week by myself, and I'd wake up in the morning, I have breakfast, I go down to the pool, and then I spend about 5 hours in the spa in the afternoon, and then walk to a little place to have dinner by myself. And for me, just, I do have to still stay a little bit plugged into work when I'm doing that. I can't just completely shut off. But when you go into a spa, they don't let you take your phone.
Yeah. It's kind of like a good punishment.
It's like, it's not my fault. There's a sign that says you can't take your phone.
Yes.
So I do that in the summertime, somewhere like July to September, and then I go on a yoga retreat also by myself over New Year's. I'm
Wonderful.
Not a big fan of New Year's. So.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
so.
never even had dinner by myself. I can't imagine going on a vacation.
Well, and look, when I was younger, I would have never thought that I would have, and I didn't start out just taking 6 days on a trip by myself, right?
Sure.
I went on a couple of days to see how it would go, or 3 days. Oh, okay, I can do it by myself. And now I'm at, 5 or 6 days by myself. And 6 is probably the max. But those opportunities those trips, I go on other trips with friends, but as I've gotten older, those trips are the ones that are the really big rejuvenating opportunities for me, because we have to take a minute. Look, real estate's hard right now, y'all. It is. Everyone is working incredibly hard for the same amount of contracts. And so we're all just kind of in this pace of just running ourselves ragged, just trying to keep everything moving down the road as it has been. And so the pressure's on. And if you don't take time to unplug, like Christy said, I don't know about all the things she does, because I'm going to have to get some notes later, about this whole pivot the
Especially
mindset.
mask thing.
Yeah, the mask, all those things.
My grandkids are living with me, and they came in the other morning, and one of them was like, Eddie, what are you doing? And I was like, this is my mask.
My mask.
Go.
Yeah, and I go to the lake on the weekends. That's a peaceful, that's a fun, peaceful time for me. But that's still a lot of work because I captain the boat,
Yes.
So Sunday is usually no people day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to tell a funny story. So when Tamara told me that she was going on this trip in July, and she's telling me all about it, I literally, it was about to just come out of my mouth and say, oh, I want to go. And then she says, and no one can go with me. I was like, I felt so defeated. I never told
It's
her
not
that.
personal.
I was like, oh,
it's not personal.
shoot, I was about to invite myself.
Well, look, I went
And
on
she was very, very adamant.
very
there
clear.
was
Yes, no one's invited.
No.
I went I went on I turned 50 in May, and so I had a big blowout birthday in Cabo for my birthday, and I came back and I was tired. I had a blast, but I was tired.
Yeah, it's exhausting
And so,
sometimes.
like, you have to have that time. And there's this new place in the Grandscape called World Springs. Have y'all heard about this yet?
Yes. Girls,
Have you
like
been?
a girls' day trip? I saw something that would be amazing to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
have you
like,
been?
no, it's on my list.
Me too.
But I
saw it
want to
this
go
morning.
during the day. Like at night, it turns into kush, and on the weekends, it kind of gets crazy, and I'm not doing all that. Like I
Okay.
want to go during the day when it's
Yeah.
quiet. But also, it's like the pools are like 80 to 100 degrees, and it's 100. It was 109 yesterday. So I'm not quite sure. But I mean, the cold plunge sounded good, but I might wait until fall for that.
Fall or winter,
When we have a moment to breathe, but summer's typically pretty busy for that. But finding those little niche places, I found out about a place in Flower Mound. It's one of those. You see them on TikTok. It's one of those Asian places where they wash your hair and comb it and massage it and all of the
lovely.
things.
Yes.
And I was like, I want to go there.
I want to do that.
I mean, it looks amazing. I mean, it's like an hour long, and you lay your head back like you're in a, and they just do all the things with your head and your hair, and it's just amazing. So that kind of stuff is what charges me.
Yes.
But then also No People Day. I call it No People Day on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that with my husband right now. And of course, he jumped on that immediately because he tells me all the time, you work too much. Well, if I work till 6:05, that's working too much, or 6:15. So he told me years ago, I married you to spend time with you. I didn't marry you, not to spend time with you.
Yeah.
And so that was, that's the thing, that's really important to us. But anyway.
And I think that's an important conversation. Look, you and Christy both have husbands and families that you go home to, right?
Yes.
I'm a single. I have my dog, right, Peanut, which he's incredibly important. So
He is,
don't
and he's
get
very
me wrong.
cute.
He's incredibly important. But I also have helpers to make sure we get Peanut taken care of, which allows me to work more. And sometimes I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's harder for me to set boundaries because I don't have a husband calling me going, it's dinner time, you better get your rear end home,
right.
So I'm like, well, let's just, it's fine. And you get in this habit of like working till
Just
8 or
work.
8:30 at night, and then you're eating dinner. I mean, this is typical for me. I eat dinner at 8:45, and then I'm sitting on the couch at 9 and asleep on the couch by 11, So you guys, I think there is some sort of blessing in that to have people that kind of keep you in a
Hold you accountable.
Unless you're like me. Like the other night we were at dinner and I took a phone call as we're walking in and I was on the phone the entire time we were at dinner. And I know my husband, he was
I'm sure
not
he was
happy.
not
No,
happy.
he was not happy. I mean, we didn't say what he ordered for me. He knew what I wanted. And
bless him. Yeah.
And then I walk out and I'm hanging up and I thought, oh wow. But you don't realize
Did you
it.
apologize?
Oh, I did. But I also didn't realize it.
I think he deserves a present.
He does
Yes.
probably deserve a present.
He deserves a redo.
He
Yeah, I
does
think
redo.
we should
Yeah, a
surprise
redo.
him tonight.
Yeah,
Redo.
a redo.
All right, so ladies, just to wrap this up in 1 minute, I want you to take 1 minute each, and I want you to share with the audience what is one of the best habits that you do on a daily basis that you think contributes to your success.
Well, let's make no mistake. Okay, I love real estate. I love what I do, and I'm happy to wake up every day and be a part of it, right? The chaos is just kind of part of what comes with it, but you can control the chaos, right? And the way I control the chaos is my calendar. Like I live and die by my calendar. And if it's not on my calendar, well, we're not doing it. So, it is being incredibly structured with your time and making sure that you time block. And we talk to realtors about this all the time, right? But I know it's a little bit more challenging for them because then a buyer pops up and, oh my God, I found this house on Zillow. I got to go see it, right? And it shakes their calendar. We have the same things, right? But I don't let other people control my calendar. It's just the way it has to be. And we're in a mutual partnership. We're going to work together. We're going to find a time that it works for both of us to share time together, right? And if it doesn't work for me, then I have to say it doesn't work for me. And if the opportunity goes away because of that, well, it wasn't really an opportunity to begin with.
Right. Yes.
And so I am at peace and I'm very confident in what I do. And I know that what I offer is very valuable to people. And I also know what they have to offer to me is valuable as well. It is a partnership. leadership.
Exactly.
And so because of the love, people that I work with true professionals, and they are able to respect my time just as much as I'm able to respect their time. So the habit is making sure that the calendar is shored up, we're adhering to our time blocking, and that's how we manage our week.
Yeah.
Christy,
And I would
how
say the
about you?
same. I would say, if you don't have the calendar, then the one thing that is critical in any position in sales is the consistency. So it is the consistency with the relationship and developing that relationship through the follow-up, and it builds trust and it builds this rapport that, we're all in the industry that is about relationships.
That's right.
Do we have different products that we're servicing and we're utilizing and we're selling? Absolutely. But if we don't look at it as a relationship, then we are missing a huge opportunity. And so I think you have to be consistent with that. People want to feel valued. They just want to feel valued. And I know, kind of going back to what I told you, my mentor years ago told me, if you want to have market share, you better have mind share. The way you have mind share is you stay consistently in front of people, coming from a place of contribution, always staying in curiosity when you're meeting them, getting, that critical active listening is so important. So I think absolutely, if you don't have the calendar, I live and breathe by my calendar. If it is not on there, then it doesn't happen. And I know every day what's happening. But then so that allows me to have the consistency with really developing those relationships. And that's what charges. That's what fuels me. I love that. I just enjoy it a lot. So,
Well, obviously, you're very well loved, both of you, in the industry, and you've been in the industry a long time. And you too, Tamara, wearing different hats, both of you, wearing different hats in the industry. I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you for sharing a little bit about how you come down, how you find your peace, the habits that you've developed, a little bit about your journey to where you are. It's inspiring to hear other people's stories because they're relatable, and they're a way that other people can connect with you. They can find themselves in you. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us today, for joining Real Producers Magazine, and that's another edition here with Real Producers, and so we can't wait to share more amazing stories about real people in the real estate industry doing the best at what they do. So stay tuned for more.